Good day, collective. It's the Most High's baby girl, Sadie Rose, coming to you with the word of the day. I don't feel like I'm in my backyard, y'all. I feel like I'm straight in the middle of like a freaking tropical rainforest, and there's so much stuff going on back here. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I'm here for a very, very, very real word today. And if I had like really dissected this, like really dissected, y'all, I got this incense burning so these cicadas stay off my face. But if I had really understood this concept, I would definitely think I would have made different decisions. Just being aware, not in a haze. But the word is, sometimes we choose violence towards ourselves. When I look back, and I feel like that was like one of the reasons why my last relationship, I definitely chose to not be kind to myself. I definitely chose violence towards myself. And by violence, I'm not talking about like there is that threat, right? When I'm talking about harm to ourselves, it could be physical or it could be emotional, psychological, or just taking ourselves off of our path that we're supposed to be on, our path that our inner compass is leading us on, being true to ourselves, sticking to what we know. Like when I think about, like for example, and I'll just give an example. Before my last relationship, I was very much going to church. I was like seeing my dad all the time. And like I was in a good spot, my kids and I were, and I got distracted. I allowed myself to be pulled off path. And, I could see early on that it wasn't right for me. And I still chose to move forward. And I still chose to be distracted. And I still chose to be taken off my path. And so when I reflect as to why I was unkind to myself, a mix of different things come to my mind. The first is that, and I see it in other people too, sometimes we don't want to see things for what they are. We want to see things the way that we expect them to be. And we get caught up in that. We get caught up in our notion of how people, places, and things are supposed to be. Whether it's a job, whether it's a partner, whether it's a project. We want what we want, and we want it so bad, and we want to keep pushing to control it, and we're going to keep on sticking with it. We're going to keep on being loyal to it. Even when we are outright, like, given a million different signs that, hey, this isn't what you think it is. And that was my problem. Like, they say that, about Leos, like, we're overly loyal. And like I think that, like, I recently learned I have a serious like growth area in learning to release when I see that people, places, and things are not what I thought they were. And I expect, like, one of the biggest ways that I was unkind to myself was that I didn't release when I saw that it was different from what I expected to be, and I saw that this person was extremely unkind to not only myself but my children. That should have been like the end. But it was my internal strife with myself. I had childhood trauma that I had never before that point really turned around to address, and I could during that relationship because my parents passed. When my parents passed, it was like my identity, everything I knew about myself was stripped away. And everything that I had never dealt with, identified, addressed, or healed from came to the surface. And because I was with not the right person in alignment with me, that person used that to flip it on me. Real areas that I needed healing was used to flip it on me and to gain power over me. And I allowed it, even though I knew that they were harmful for myself. and the people that I love. I allowed it because I believed the lies that they were telling me about myself, because I wasn't firmly rooted in myself as a person, as a mother, as a woman. Because I did not have my sovereign, as they would say, strong. I allowed another person to define me, to control me, to manipulate me. And that was very harmful to myself, emotionally and in every way, because the longer that I stayed in that situation, the more I became trapped by it. And I also think that, in that situation, like, my expectations for that person were unrealistic, because they were who they are. Like, again, we go back, we can't change people. People have to want change. Either they're in alignment with you or willing to do the work to be in alignment for themselves, or they just are, or they're not. And when people aren't, we can't force them to be what we want them. Another instance I see where people are unkind to themselves in this way is when we choose to stick with a place or a thing because we hope that we hope that it'll eventually become what we want it to become, or because we're scared of trying something different, trying something new. And the real truth of it all is that sometimes we get really comfortable being uncomfortable, in that state of lack, in that state of harm. We get really comfortable being uncomfortable. And honestly, that is a very, 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 like, dangerous treadmill to be on. But a lot of us are on that treadmill right now, where we're living from paycheck to paycheck, going from one crisis to one crisis, going from one struggle to the next struggle, going from one argument to the next argument, jumping from this person to the next person, never finding time to focus on ourselves, never giving us space to breathe, never sitting down and reflecting about our relationship with the Most High God and ourselves, not having time to think about what we would like to achieve, how do we visualize our life, where do we see our families going, how do we build together, because we are caught in the hamster wheel of struggle and lack. We get caught in it, y'all. And trauma begins to be normalized. And being punished for being traumatized becomes normalized. Not being helped when you're traumatized becomes generational, historical even. And that is dangerous. And that's where we have been. And that is where we need to get out of, like, immediately. Struggle and lack isn't normal. Trauma is not okay. We deserve abundance. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be loved. We deserve to be free. Free. Free in our minds. Free to do and create as we like. Free to have time to think. We deserve happiness. We can't normalize the struggle. It's time to be free, y'all. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother.